गंधार्विक गिरिधारी शिष्य राधा विनोद बिहारी जू की जाय। श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मदन मोहन जू की जाय। नित्याल विष्णु विष्णुपार शुतर शुत शिशुमार भक्ति वेदांत नारायण गोसाई महाराज श्री गुरुदेव की जाय। नित्याल विष्णु विष्णुपार शुतर शुत शिशुमार भक्ति वेदांत वामन गोसाई महाराज की जाय। नित्याल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपार शुतर शुत शिशिमार भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोसाई महाराज की जाय। नित्याल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपार शुतर शुत शिशिमार भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोसाई रूपार की जाय। नित्याल प्रविष्ट महाभगवत शिल गौरकिशोरदास बाबाजी महाराज की जाय। नित्याल प्रविष्ट शिल सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जाय। नित्याल भविष्ट वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथ दास बाबाजी महाराज की जय। श्री रूपानु गौरिया गुरु वार्ग की जय। श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्टदास रघुनाथ शारद गोसाई प्रभु की जय। श्री स्वरूप दामोदर राय रामानंदारी श्री गौर पार्षद वृंद की जय। नाम चय श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार शिवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जाय। श्री क्षेत्र मंडल गौर मंडल व्रज मंडल मथुर वृंदावन धाम की जाय। सर्व अभिष्ट विदात गिरिराज महाराज की जाय। श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड की जाय। श्री यमुना देवी गंग देवी की जाय। श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जाय। श्री भक्ति देवी की जय। श्री पूर्णमासी योग माया की जय। श्री गोपेश्वर महादेव की जय। जय श्री जय श्री हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जय। Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's Bhajan Rahasya ki jai. The commentaries in the Mahamantra by Srila Jiva Goswami, Gopal Guru Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, and Srila Satchidananda Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki jai. जय श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय। जय श्री चैतन्य शिक्षाष्टक की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। समागत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। Okay, let's do the Mangalacharan. Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। गुरुवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकायै तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। श्रीसिद्धान्तसरस्वतीति विदितो कोटियगुर्वन्वये भातो भानुरिव प्रभात गगने योगौरसङ्कीर्तनाय मायावारतिमिङ्गिलो दरगतान् उद्धृत्य जीवानिमान् कृष्णप्रेमसुधाब्धिगाहन सुखां प्रदत्प्रभुं तं भजे। वन्दे वन्दे भक्तिविनोदं श्रीगौरशक्तिस्वरूपकम् भक्तिशास्त्रज्ञसम्राजं राधारससुधानिधिं नमो भक्तिविनोदाय सच्चिदानन्दनामिने गौरशक्तिस्वरूपाय रूपानुगवरायते श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। वृषभानुसुतान्वितवामतनुं यमुनातटनागरनन्दसुतं मुरलीकलगीतविनोरपरं भज गोद्रुमकाननकुञ्जविदुम् स्मर गौरगदाधरकेलिकलं भवगौरगदाधरपक्षचर शृणुगौरगदाधरचारुकथां भज गोद्रुमकाननकुञ्जविदुम् तवैवास्मि न जीवामि त्वया विना इति विज्ञाय देवि त्वां नायमां चरणान्तिकम् भक्त्या विहीना अपराधलक्षाय क्षिप्ताश्च कामादितराङ्गमध्ये कृपामयि त्वां शरणं प्रपन्ना वृन्दे नमस्ते चरणारविन्दम् भज श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम हरे राम 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 हरे हरे Shri Saruparaya Sangha Harsha Shesha Goshanam Śikṣāṣṭaka Krishna Kirtanaika Poshanam Prema Nama Matra Vishva Jivanaika Sambharang Prema Dhama Devameva Nomi Gaura Sundaram Premurbhavita Harsheryo Dvega Mishritam लपितांगुरचन्द्रस्य भाग्यवर्भिर्निषेव्यते प्रभुर्शिक्षाष्टकश्लोको जय पौरे शुने कृष्णे प्रेम bhakti tar bare dine dine. Whoever reads or hears the Lord Shikshashtaka verses, their prem bhakti for Krishna will grow more and more every day by day. It will continuously grow. Krishna prem bhakti tar bare dine dine. Jai Shri Śikṣāṣṭaka ki Jai. Cheto darpanamarjanam bhavamahadavagni nirvapanam Shreya kairava chandrika vitaranam Vidyavadhu jivanam Anandam buddhivardhanam pratipadam Purnamrita svadanam Sarvatma snapanam param vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis Tatrarpita Niyamita Smaranena Kala Etadrishi Tava Kripa Bhagavan Mamapi Durdaiva Midrishamiha Janinanuraga Trinarapi Sunichena Tororapi Sahishnuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sada Hari Na Dhanam Na Janang Na Sundaring Kavitam Va Jagarisha Kamaye Mama Janmani Janmanishware Bhavatar Bhaktirahaitu Tvai Ainandatanuja kinkaram patitang mam vishame bhavam budo kripaya tava para pankaja sthita dhuli sadrisham vichintaya nayanam galarashudharaya vadanam ruddhaya gira pulakarnichitam vapuh kada tava nama grahane bhavishyati Yugayitam nimeshena chakshusha pravrasayitam shunyayitam jagat sarvam govinda virahena me ashlishyava pararatam pinashtumam adarshanan marma hatam karotu va yatha tatha va vidadhatu lampato Mat prananatastu sa eva na para. Jai Shri Śikṣāṣṭaka ki Jai. 1 second, just seeing all who's joined. All right. Dandavat pranams, Nri Hari Prabhu Bhavatarani Mataji. and Sarveshwari Mataji Haribo. Dandavat pranams to the three of you, and also to all devotees watching on YouTube and Facebook. Rohini Nandan Prabhu, I see, Dandavat pranams, and 4 other devotees. No, now there's 6 devotees. Yeah, if you write a comment, I'll see your name. Also, pranams to all devotees watching in the future, like Shachi Devi, Jaydev Prabhu, and Revati Didi. Haribo. So today's today's going to be more like a study session. And like always, I'm not teaching right now. I'm trying to figure everything out. And this is my personal study session made public. And so today's it might be a little bit boring. We're not like just reading all sorts of like, words from our acharyas and stuff like that. What I did is I made a chart just now, right before we started the program. Um, and I wanted to compare the 3 things, the Aiśvarya-mayī, Mādhurya-mayī, and Yugala-smaraṇa-mayī vakyas, the explanations. The explanation that is filled with Aishvarya, with awe and reverence and veneration, the majesty of the Lord, and then the Mādhurya-mayī explanation, which is filled with the sweetness, the names. These are explanations of the names Hare, Hara, Kṛṣṇa, and Rāma. Oops, let me fix that. And so, yeah, some explanations are about the Aishvarya, some have to do with the Mādhurya, or filled with Mādhurya, and the others, Yugala-smaraṇa-mayī, filled with the remembrance of the divine couple. And I found this on, this was in Srila Gurudev's book, Mahamantra, Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And I also found it on, just the Sanskrit, I found it on Gaudiya Grantha Mandir. Yeah, I'll show you the document I found. Here it is. How come it's not coming up? There it is. See, this is what I found. And sometimes I find it just really helpful just to look at, like without so much stuff, just to see the Sanskrit directly. And according to this, it says that this is actually Srila Jīva Gosvāmi's. Srila Jīva Gosvāmī was the one who compiled this. Srila Jīva Gosvāmi Sankalita Mahamantra Vyakya. But then Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur in his Bhajanahasya, he says it was Gopal Guru Goswami. But then in our Srila Gurudev's, and I think Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he gives the Mādhurya-mayī and the Yugala-smaraṇa-mayī explanations, not the Aiśvarya-mayī one. Because it's Bhajanahasya. This is for people going very deep into a very high level of bhajan. So they don't really need it. The way I understand is that Aishvarya is what prepares us to really appreciate the Mādhurya. Like if we just go to the Mādhurya without any Aishvarya, without any then we take it cheaply, and it becomes material to us. But when you first have the platform of Aishvarya, like wow, Bhagavan, like you have that, and then you go to the sweetness. Then the sweetness is, then you don't see it in a material way. Then and you have so much a greater appreciation. So the Aishwarya is like as preparing us for the Madhurya, basically. That's what I see. But in Bhajanahasya, Bhajanahasya wasn't written just for ordinary people. Bhajanahasya was written for people who already have that strong foundation of the Aishwarya, and that's the whole next level of really deep spiritual practice. And so I think it wasn't Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Also, Gopal Guru Goswami. That's something I wanted to look at. Let's see. On Gurudev's Harinama Mahamantra book. I didn't look at this yet. So, Srila Gurudev, Yeah, Srila Gurudev doesn't mention where this comes from, the Madhurya, and he starts with Mādhurya-mayī, and then Aiśvarya-mayī, and then Yugala-smaraṇa-mayī. That's very, very interesting. According to this, it was compiled by Jīva Gosvāmī, so I don't know. Um, but then, after, and all these acharyas, like Jīva Gosvāmī gave more than one commentary, and so did Gopal Guru Goswami. But let's see, commentary on the Mahamantra by Sri Gopal Guru Goswami. Does he go through these same verses again? He does. Look, this is the Mādhurya-mayī. And then he explains it. He gives a commentary on it. Ah, okay. And then, and then Gopal Guru Goswami is giving the Aiśvarya-mayī verse. And then he's explaining that. And then he gives the Mādhurya-mayī explanation of Kṛṣṇa. So he gives the Aiśvarya-mayī explanation of Kṛṣṇa, then the Mādhurya-mayī explanation of Kṛṣṇa, and then he gives the Aiśvarya-mayī explanation and the Mādhurya-mayī explanation of Rāma. Okay, I didn't realize that before. See, that's why it's helpful to look at just become familiar, like a little bit familiar with the Sanskrit, because now I'm very clear on like which verse is which. And now I could tell, okay, I can see what he's doing now. But I wouldn't have been able to do that if I didn't look at the Sanskrit here. If I didn't make this chart and I didn't become a little bit familiar with these verses, I wouldn't have understood what Gopal Guru Goswami is doing. And so I'm wondering if Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, though, he's got this commentary of Gopal Guru Goswami, and then he just pulled out all the Mādhurya-mayī verses from here. And so then he said, he wrote Gopal Guru Goswami. I think that's what happened. That's my guess. Okay, so let's go through, and Hari Bol Champak Mataji. So this is what I want to do. I want to understand all these three verses, and then be able to compare them to each other. So first, Aiśvarya-mayī. And if anybody wants this chart, I'm happy to share it with you. You see though, look, the Aiśvarya-mayī and explanation gives a meaning of Hari, but not of Hara. And the Mādhurya-mayī explanation gives the meaning of both Hari and Hara. And then the Yugala-smaraṇa-mayī explanation only gives Hara, doesn't give Hari. See that? Yeah. So now, Harati trividhang tapam janmakoti shatodbhavam papam papam cha smaratang yasmat tasmadharir iti smrita. Hey, that should be like this. There. Okay, so Harati comes from the verbal root hri, which means to take. And Harati, this word Harati means steals, removes, or destroys. Okay, so Hari, the meaning of Hari is he who takes away, steals, removes, destroys. What does he take away? He takes away the Trividam Tapam. So Trividha, those are the Tapam. So Tapam refers to the suffering, the pain, the misery of three types. What are the three types? Adhyatmak, which is arising from one's own body and mind. Adibhotak, which is coming from other living entities. And Adidaivak, from natural calamities, I think also planetary influences, like that. And so Harati Trivida Tapam, he steals away those three types of miseries. Janma Koti Shatod Bhavam. So Koti Shata Udbhavan. Udbhavam means arising. Arising from Koti Shata. Koti means like it, shata means hundreds, koti means millions, and janma, births. So hundreds of, actually, koti is not millions. A koti is the same thing as a crore, which is 10 million. So hundreds of 10 millions of lifetimes. So basically unlimited lifetimes, billions of lifetimes. For billions of all this tapa, all this suffering, these three types of suffering, which have arisen from billions of lifetimes, harati, he steals that. And then cha means and also the papa. So the suffering and the sins, the trivida tapam and the papam. Cha means and, papam, and the pap, which is udbhavan, which is arisen from billions, koti shata, hundreds of 10 millions of lifetimes. And because of sandhi, like the a and u merge together and become o. That's why it's shatod bhavam. Okay. And who does he do this for? He does it for smaratang, those who remember him. Smaratang is, he does this for those who remember him. Actually, this is in the genitive. It's of those who remember. He does this. Yeah. And this word yasmat means because. And so this word yasmat, because of this, tasmad means therefore. Therefore, harir iti smrita. Therefore, he is known. Smrita means he is remembered or called or known as Hari. And with definitions, it usually gives an iti at the end. Thus, it's just like it's a way to, for all definitions in Sanskrit, you'll always see the word iti, thus. Okay, so hopefully this is clear now. Harati trividam tapam janmakoti shatodbhavam papam cha sangsmaratang yasmat tasmad harir iti smrita. Because he removes the threefold miseries that have accrued over countless births, and he removes the sins of those who remember him, therefore he is known as Hari. So now, um, the Aiśvarya-mayī skips the meaning of Hara. No meaning of Hara there, of Srimati Radhika, only Hari. And now it goes to Kṛṣṇa. Let me just move this down a little bit. I just want to get this together. There, okay. So now Kṛṣṇa. Okay. So Krishi bhur vachaka shabdo nashcha nivritti shuchaka tayor aikyam param brahma Kṛṣṇa ityabhidhiyate. So the root krish indicates, vachaka means it signifies, it denotes, it indicates. Bhur vachaka. It indicates all existence and attraction. Bhur vachaka. Shabdo. So, wait, sorry, I'm just trying to. So the root krish indicates the word. No, I don't think shabdo means that. Okay, so the root krish indicates bhur vachaka, all existence and attraction. Bhu means, it means existence and also means attraction. This word bhu also means attraction. So krishi indicates attraction and existence. And nash, chavritti, Cha means and in Sanskrit, the word and always goes after the thing. It doesn't come in the middle. Like in English, we always say, Radha and Krishna. But in Sanskrit, it'd be Radha, Krishna, and. The and always goes after, not in between, which is kind of confusing. But yeah. So, and nash, or na suchaka. Suchaka means the same thing as vachaka. It indicates nirvritti. And nirvritti means it means bliss, it means contentment, it means cessation of suffering. Actually, I wanted to look up that word in the Sanskrit dictionary. One second, let me just find it. Where is it? Where is sanskritdictionary.com. Nirvritti. Nirvritti means bliss. Nirvritti. Let's see what comes up. Yes. Look, this is the Monier-Williams definition. Nirvritti means complete satisfaction or happiness, bliss, pleasure, delight. Okay, so, oops, where's the chart? So, Krish means bhu, indicates bhu, which means attraction, all attraction. And na indicates nirvritti, which means bliss, contentment. Tayor aikyam parang, tayor aikyam. So, tayo means of these two, aikyam means oneness, or union. So the union of these two, of this Krish and Na, this all attractiveness and this Na, and this supreme bliss, contentment. By that, the union of these two is the absolute truth, the Param Brahma. And he is called Abhidhyate, means is called Krishna. Okay, so Krish Vachaka indicates bhu, which means attractive, attraction. He is all attraction. And na suchaka indicates nirvritti. The union, the aikyam, the union of tayo, of these two, is para Brahma, the supreme absolute truth, who is called Abhidhyate, who is called Krishna. And remember, iti is always, the definition always ends with the word iti. So, Krishibhurvachaka shabdo nascha nivritti shuchaka tayor aikyam parang brahma Krishna ityabhidhiyate. And now, the meaning of the word Ram. And there's a footnote here which explains where these are taken from. Like, anyways, we don't need to look at that now. Now, Ramante yogino nante. So, actually, let's look at let's look at the translation side. The root krish indicates all existence and attraction, and the syllable na indicates spiritual bliss. The union of these two, the supreme absolute truth, is called Krishna. Now, the word Ram. Let's look at the translation first, and that'll be easier for me to understand. So the yogis take transcendental pleasure in the unlimited, eternal, and blissful self. For this reason, he is the supreme absolute truth. He, the supreme absolute truth, is called by the name Ram. That's a very literal translation. It also says Parabrahma here. See? Parabrahma. This one, Krishna says Parabrahma and Rama says Parabrahma. Okay, so Ramante yogino nante. So Ramante means they take pleasure, they delight. Comes from the verbal root ram, which means to enjoy. So Ramante, who takes pleasure, who delights? Yogina. Yogina means the yogis. Who do they take delight in? In Ananta. Anante means in the unlimited one. And because of Sanskrit sandhi, you remove the and you put this there. Lopaharaha, right? It's the, what is it called? Avagraha. It's when you remove the and you replace it with this, whatchamacallit, apostrophe. So, Ramante yogino anante. The yogis, they take pleasure in, they delight in ananta. Ananta means, anta means end, and ananta means no ends. The endless or unlimited, unlimited one. And here the word Atman sometimes refers to the supreme self, like Paramatma, Bhagavan, like the supreme Lord, the absolute truth, Atma. So they take pleasure in Ananta, in the unlimited one, in that supreme, the supreme self, Atman, who is Sat, Ananda, and Chid. It's Sat, Chid, Ananda, but the Chid and Ananda are reversed. So, yeah, they take delight in the absolute truth, who is eternal, full of knowledge and bliss. Sat, Chid, Ananda. Itti Rama Padana. So, um, Itti, thus, for this reason, Rama Padena. Padena means by the word. Pada means word, and Padena means by the word Ram. Also, he is abhidhyate, he is understood. That supreme, para means supreme, absolute, that supreme absolute truth, the para Brahma, he is known by the word, Padena means by the word Ram. So the yogis take transcendental pleasure in the unlimited. Ramante yogino nante. They take pleasure in the unlimited, eternal, um, uh, who is filled with Sat Chit, who is the embodiment of Sat Chit Ananda, that Atman, that supreme being, the supreme self, the supreme being. Thus he is known by the word Rama. Rama Padena. So he is Para Brahma Abhidhyate, he is called. God, that was a little bit more difficult to explain, but yeah, that's basically, yeah, I think it's clear, right? The yogis take delight in the unlimited supreme being, Atmani, who is Satchid Ananda. And so that Para Brahma, that supreme absolute truth, the Para Brahma, he also is Abhidhyate, is known Rama Padena, by the word Ram. That's better. That's a better explanation. So the yogis take transcendental pleasure in the unlimited, eternal, and blissful self. For this reason, he is a supreme absolute truth. He, the supreme absolute truth, is called by the name Ram. So now we have an understanding of the Aiśvarya-mayī explanation of Hare, Kṛṣṇa, Ram. Now the Mādhurya-mayī explanation. So Vigyapya, let's look at the translation first. Having revealed the truth of the Supreme Lord, whose form is a mass, or is condensed, whose form is a mass of condensed spiritual bliss and consciousness. He removes ignorance and all its effects. Therefore, he is known as Hare. So Vigyapya. Vigyapya means having revealed, having made known. Vigyapya. Having revealed Bhagavat Tattva. That's the truth of the Supreme Lord, the absolute truth. Chid Ghana Ananda Vigraham. He is his Vigraha, his form is condensed chit, condensed consciousness, and ananda and bliss, or condensed knowledge and bliss. His Vigraham is condensed ghana, knowledge or consciousness, and ananda, bliss. So harati avidyam. So he steals away avidya. And I think this tat karyam can have two meanings. It could either refer to, tat can refer to he, that Bhagavat Tattva, that the Supreme Lord, or it could refer to avidya. So he steals away avidya and tat karyam, and the workings of avidya, the effects of avidya. Or it could refer to tat karyam, his works of harati, of stealing away, of removing avidya. So I don't actually know what tat refers to. Maybe it can refer to both. Lots of times words like that, it works like that. So anyways, therefore, ato means therefore, hari iti smrita. He is known, he is remembered as, he is known as Hari. So, having revealed the truth of the Supreme Lord, whose form is a mass of condensed spiritual bliss and consciousness, he removes ignorance and all its effects. Therefore, he is known as Hari. So, this is really similar to the Aiśvarya-mayī explanation of Hari, isn't it? The Aiśvarya-mayī explanation says that he removes the threefold miseries accrued over countless births and the sins of those who remember him. That's what the Aiśvarya-mayī. And then this one, the Mādhurya-mayī one, says that he reveals the truth of, he reveals Bhagavat Tattva, and he is the condensed form of, or he is the form of condensed Chit and Ananda, and he steals away avidya. And avidya and Trividam Tapam and Pap all go together. Like kind of Trivida Tap and Pap are the effects of avidya, right? That's the effects of ignorance. Tat karyam. Oh, I guess that tat karyam could refer to this tapa and pap. Tap and pop. Anyways, all right. Now we come to the meaning. Okay, and so now in the Mādhurya-mayī explanation, it gives the definition of hara, which refers to Srimati Radhika. So, harati Kṛṣṇa mana Kṛṣṇa hlada sarupini ato haretenenaiva Shri Radha parikirtita. Okay. So, harati means she steals. What does she steal? Kṛṣṇa mana, the mind of Kṛṣṇa. So, she whose very form, her very Sarupini, is the pleasure potency. She is the ahlada, the ahlada. Ahlada means pleasure of Kṛṣṇa. Krishna's Hladini Shakti. She is the very embodiment. She is the Sarupini. Her very form, her very nature, she is the very embodiment of Krishna's ahlada, Krishna's pleasure, the Hladini Shakti Surupini Shrimati Radhika. So she, harati Kṛṣṇa mana, she steals Krishna's mind. Therefore, ato means therefore, harati. No, that's not harati. That's hare iti. By the name, iti means by the name Hare. Anena, by this, anena means by this very name. It says anena and eva, and then it merges together, it becomes anena eva. So by this very name of Hare, Shri Radha parikirtita. Shri Radha is parikirtita. She is celebrated. So, because she, who is the embodiment of Krishna's bliss, steals Krishna's mind, she is celebrated by the name Hara. Yes. Okay. And it uses the word Hare here, which is the vocative case. So Hare is the calling out to her, it's the vocative case of Hara. Okay, so that's pretty clear now, right? Harati Krishna Mana Krishna Hlada Swarupini Ato Haritane Naiva Shri Radha Parikirtita. Okay, now we come to the Mādhurya-mayī explanation of Ram. Anandaika Sukaswami Shama Kamalalochana Gokula Nandano Nanda Nandana Krishna Iryate. So Ananda Eka Sukha Swami. So Swami means the sole proprietor, the master, the sole proprietor, I think is good here. So the sole proprietor of, and soul is Eka. So he's the Eka Swami. He is the sole Eka Swami, proprietor of Ananda, of bliss, and Sukha, of happiness. So now Anandaika Sukha Swami. Remember, this is the meaning of the word, the Mādhurya-mayī meaning of the word Krishna, right? So Anandaika Sukha Swami. He is the sole proprietor of bliss and happiness, who is Shama, who is dark complexioned, like a monsoon cloud, right? So it's Shama. And Kamala Lochana. And his eyes are like Kamala. His Lochana are like Kamala, are like lotuses. So Shama Kamala Lochana. And I always find it helpful when you're saying the words to have an image of in your head. So Shama, remember the dark monsoon-like complexion, monsoon cloud-like complexion of Sham, and Kamala Lochana, lotus eyes, lotus petal eyes, Kamala Lochana. He is the Gokula Ananda. He is the one who gives delight to Gokul, to all the inhabitants of Gokul, and Nanda Nandana, and he is the son of Nanda Maharaj, Krishna Iryate. So he is called, Iryate means the same thing as Abhidhyate in these other verses, means Abhidhyate, right? We saw that a couple times. Abhidhyate here and Abhidhyate here means calls. So Iryate. So he is called Krishna. So it's making very clear which Krishna. It's not referring to the Krishna in Dwarka and Mathura or any other form of Krishna. It only refers to, when we say Krishna in the Mahamantra, according to the Mādhurya-mayī explanation, it refers to he who is the sole proprietor of happiness and bliss, Shama, Kamala Lochana, Gokula Ananda, Nanda Nandana. How many things is that? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so 5, it gives 5 different explanations. He who is the sole proprietor of happiness and bliss, that's 1. Shama, 2, he's dark complexioned. Kamala Lochana, that's 3. He is oh, I don't, these balloons just came up. Kamala Lochana, he has lotus eyes. Gokula Ananda, he is the delight of Gokul. And Nanda Nandana, he's the son of Nanda Maharaj. Okay, so that's what Krishna, not any other Krishna. And now the Mādhurya-mayī explanation of the word. Oh wait, let's see how these relate to each other. So the Aiśvarya-mayī and Mādhurya-mayī. What is the difference? The Aiśvarya-mayī explanation just gives a very general definition how Krish indicates all attraction, bhurvachaka, and how na indicates spiritual bliss, nirvritti. And so that Parabrahma is Krishna. But then the Mādhurya-mayī explanation of Krishna says, now he is Ananda Sukha Swami, he is Shama, he is Kamala Lochana, he is Gokula Nanda, he is Nanda Nandana, that Krishna. Okay, so now let's look at Ram. Vaidagda, I need to see the definition. Hey, there's no definition. Oh, shoot. Let's see. Let me just try to get this definition. I forgot. I did this so quickly right before we started. So here's definition. There. Okay. So he who is the very essence, he is the sar, the essence of all. Sarvasa means all. He is the essence of all Vaidagdhya. Vaidagdhya means artistic skill, cleverness. Let's look up the word Vaidagdhya. Vaidagdhya. Let me open up a dictionary. Let's see. Will it come up if I just type in this? Let's see. Vaidagdhya means dexterity, intelligent, acuteness, cunning, cleverness, skillful, experienced. And Srila Prabhupada translates it as sportive nature. Sportive nature. I like that. Sportive nature. Okay, so means he's very clever, he's very skillful, and he has a very sportive nature. So he is the so he who is the very essence of all of Vaidagdhya. And you can just think of, and it's referring to, yeah, that Rama. He's the and Murta Lila Didaivatam. Murta means he is the personified, and Adidaivatam means presiding deity. So he is the personified, presiding deity of Lila, of pastimes. So he who is the essence of all artistic skill, sportive nature, all cunningness, cleverness, and who is the very personified, Murta, personified Adidaivatam, personified deity of Lila, of all pastimes, sweet pastimes. And then, this is the best part. Shri Radham Ramayan Nityam. So Radham, Shri Radham is the accusative case. So it means she is the object of the Ramayan. And Ramayan means giving pleasure to, delighting in. Nityam, eternally, always, forever. He is forever, eternally, always, Nityam, giving pleasure, Ramayan. To who? To Shri Radha. Rama ityabhidhiyate. So Rama iti, he is called Rama. Thus he is called Rama. That's really sweet, beautiful one, huh? Vaidagdhya sarasarvasvam murtalila didaivatam Shri Radham Ramayan nityam Rama ityabhidhiyate. Abhidhiyate means is called Rama. And that's the main one for me. Shri Radham Ramayan nityam. He's eternally Ramayan, giving pleasure. To who? To Shri Radham. Shri Radham Ramayan Nityam. So very different from the Aiśvarya-mayī explanation, right? Aiśvarya-mayī explanation just talks about the yogis who take transcendental pleasure. They are Ramante. They're taking transcendental pleasure in Ananta, the unlimited one, who is Satchid Ananda, that Parabrahma, that absolute truth. But then the Mādhurya-mayī explanation gives these three things. He is Vaidagdha Sarasarvasvam. He is the very essence of all artistic skill, of it's the sportive nature and cleverness, cunning, all that. And he is Murta Lila Didaivatam. He is the personified deity of all Lila, of all pastimes. And Shri Radham Ramayan Nityam. He is eternally, forever, giving pleasure to Shri Radha. That is Rama. Okay, so now we've gone through the four meanings of the Hare, Hara, Kṛṣṇa, and Rama. Now we come to the Yugala-smaraṇa-mayī. And we see that the Yugala-smaraṇa-mayī doesn't give any explanation of Hare. So it skips Hare and it goes straight to Hara, to Śrīmati Radhika. And this, the Yugala-smaraṇa-mayī explanation of Hara is like exactly the same as the Mādhurya-mayī explanation. So this is a Yugala-smaraṇa-mayī means, it says, Mano harati Kṛṣṇasya. It's almost exactly in the same order also. This literally means the same thing. Mano harati Kṛṣṇasya. Kṛṣṇasya means of Kṛṣṇa, mana, the mind, harati, she steals. So she steals the mind of Kṛṣṇa. And this says, harati Kṛṣṇa mana. There's absolutely no difference in the first line. It's just the words are in the different order. But Harati Kṛṣṇa Mana and Mano Harati Kṛṣṇasya. Now, the second line says Kṛṣṇa Lada Sarupini in the Mādhurya-mayī explanation, and in the Yugala-smaraṇa-mayī explanation, it says, oh, exactly the same thing. It's like word for word the same. Kṛṣṇa Lada Sarupini. Okay, and then ato and tato mean the same thing, like therefore. Right? I think so. Yeah, tato ato means therefore. Hara shiradhaiva. Shiradha eva is indeed Śrīradha. So Hara is indeed Śrīradha. And then tasya means her, sambodhanam Hare. And her, the vocative case to call her is Hare. And so the last line here just says she's celebrated as Śrīradha. That Śrīradha is celebrated by the name Hari. And this one just says the name to call her is Hare. But so these are identical, pretty much, these two verses here. Now, so for the explanation of Hari is identical. Hara is identical. Now let's look at the word for Kṛṣṇa. This is how Kṛṣṇa is explained in the Yugala-smaraṇa-mayī explanation. Apagrihya trapam dharmam dharyam manam vrajastrinam venuna karshati grihat tena Kṛṣṇo bhidiyate. Remember, abhidiyate means is called. So, apagriha. Apagrihya means having taken away, having seized. Having seized what? The modesty. The trapa means the shyness or the modesty. Dharma means the religious principles, the duties, the dharma. The dharyam, the dharya means the composure or the patience. And manam means the pride or the honor. Of who? Of the Vraja Strinam. Of the women of Vraj. Strinam. Vraja Strinam. Of the women of Vraj. And how does he do that? With what instrument? Uses the instrumental case. It means by the flute. By the venu. He karshati. He forcibly pulls or he attracts. We know the word Kṛṣṇa, Kṛṣṇa means attracts or to pull. So this relates to the word Krish, right? And he pulls grihat, from their homes. So by the flute, he pulls, he attracts from their homes, grihat. So tena means, so for this reason, tena, Kṛṣṇa abhidiyate. He is called Kṛṣṇa. Why is he called Kṛṣṇa? Because he apagrihya. He takes away, he seizes the trapam, the modesty, the dharmam, the duty, the religious principles, the dharya, the composure, the patience, and the mana, the honor and pride of all the Vrajastrinam, of all the young women of Vraj. And he does this venuna, by his flutes. Karshati, he pulls, he forcibly attracts, he forcibly pulls them, grihat, from their homes. Tena. For this reason, Kṛṣṇo bhidiyate. He is known as Kṛṣṇa. Kṛṣṇo bhidiyate. Apigrihya trapam dharmang dharyam manam vrajastrinam venuna karshati grihat tena Kṛṣṇo bhidiyate. Now let's see, how does that compare to the Mādhurya-mayī explanation? So the Mādhurya-mayī explanation, remember, explains Anandaika Sukha-swami Shama Kamalalochana Gokula Nanda Nandana Kṛṣṇa Irite. So those four things, right? And then this explains how this is, like that Kṛṣṇa who is Shama Kamalalochana Gokula Nanda Nandana. It explains the the amorous nature of that Kṛṣṇa, how he seizes the modesty, duty, composure, and honor of the young women of Vraj, and he forcibly pulls them from their homes with his flute. For this reason, he is called Kṛṣṇa. And remember the Aiśvarya-mayī explanation of Kṛṣṇa was Krish indicates he is the all attractive one, and Na indicates spiritual bliss. So the union of all attractiveness and spiritual bliss is that supreme absolute truth, Kṛṣṇa. It's kind of I find it kind of nice to see them all side by side like that. So Aiśvarya-mayī, Mādhurya-mayī, Yugala-smaraṇa-mayī. All right, so now we come to the word Ram. So, sorry, I don't have a translation here. One second, I'm just giving a translation. There. Okay. So, he who constantly delights the minds and the five senses of the young women of Raj with his exquisite beauty and charm is therefore famously known as Ram. Okay, let's look at the Sanskrit now. So Ramayati. Ramayati means he causes to enjoy, he delights. It's the causative form of the verbal root ram. Ramayati means he causes to enjoy, he delights, he makes delight. It's not he's doing it himself, he's making others delight and enjoy. Anisham means it's constant, there's without cessation. Anisham. And then Rupa, how does he do it? With his beauty and charm. His Rupa and his Lavanya. Rupa, I always thought Rupa and Lavanya were like kind of the same word. Like one's beauty, and I thought the other was also beauty. Let's look at Lavanya. Lavanya. We all know the word Rup, right? It means beauty and form. But let's see Lavanya. Let's see what the difference is. Lavanya means beauty, loveliness, charm. So it also means beauty, but it also means loveliness and charm. Okay. So Rupa, Lavanya. Oops. So through his beauty and his charm. Rupa, Lavanya, Vraja Yoshitam. Who does he delight? Of the young women of Vraj. No, sorry. Sorry. Wait. He causes to enjoy Ramayati without cessation, constantly, by his Rupa and Lavanya, by his beauty and by his attractiveness, by his charm and loveliness. And Vraja Yoshitam means of the women of Vraj. Yoshita means women. Vraja Yoshitam means of the women of Vraj. Mana. Mana means their minds. Mana can also mean heart, but yeah, their minds. And then Panchendriya Niha. Pancha Indriyani means the five senses. And Iha means here. And here can mean in this Vraj, I think. So lots of times the word Iha, which means here, is used as a filler, like to make it fit the things. So lots of times you'll just see Iha all over the place, but it means literally here, and it could mean here in Vraj. And then Ramas Tasmat Prakirtita. Tasmat, therefore, Prakirtita, he is famously known, or he is celebrated as Rama. Why is he celebrated as Rama? Because he constantly delights. Ramayati Anisham. He constantly Anisham Ramayati, delights by his Rupa and Lavanya, by his beauty and his charm. And he Mana Panchendriyaniha. He delights the mind and the five senses of the Vraja Yoshitam, of the women of Vraj. Tasman, therefore, Parikirtita, he is famously known, or he is celebrated as Rama. That's interesting. It seems to me like this one, the Mādhurya-mayī explanation of Rama, is closer to Yugala-smaraṇa-mayī, because that's just the Mādhurya-mayī explanation just refers to Srimati Radhika. He always gives pleasure, Ramayati, Ramayan, yeah, to Sri Radha. But then the Yugal-smaraṇ-mayī one says that he gives pleasure to the Vraja Yoshita, to the women of Vraj. It's interesting, huh? I would think that this one would go in the Mādhurya-mayī explanation, and then this one would go in the Yugal-smaraṇ-mayī explanation. But anyways, that's just my dumb brain. I don't know anything. Um, but yeah, anyways. Now, okay, let's see how Rama compares to each other, and then we'll end our program for today. So remember, Rama, the Aiśvarya-mayī explanation of Rama. So yogis take transcendental pleasure in the unlimited, eternal, and blissful self. For this reason, he, the supreme absolute truth, is called Rama. And then the Mādhurya-mayī explanation, he who is the very essence of all artistic skill, the personified deity of all divine pastimes, and who eternally gives pleasure to Sri Radha is called Ram. And then the Yugal-smaraṇ-mayī explanation is, he who constantly delights the mind and the five senses of the young women of Vraj with his exquisite beauty and charm is therefore famously known as Ram. Okay, so now we have a very clear understanding of all these names and how they compare with each other. This is very helpful for me. I've mentioned this a few times now, I'm just mentioning it again, but when you explain it, when you try to explain something, it is by far the most effective way to remember it. Even from like the times that we went over this before, when I tried to explain it and I was trying to figure it out, I found myself remembering it. Like just this morning when I was like I went on my japa walk, and as I was able to pull the words from this in my mind. And now after explaining it this time even more thoroughly and seeing how they relate to each other, I think I'm very near to memorizing it without having made any efforts to try to memorize it. Like I didn't try to like just remember the words in order, okay, like that, and repeating it again and again, and then trying to go to the next line and trying to go. I've been trying to explain it, and then by that, automatically it sticks. There's nothing better to make something stick in your mind by other than speaking it to somebody and like trying to make it make sense. So yeah, so thank you for giving me this opportunity. And I hope that you found it helpful, that it's all clear now. If anybody wants this chart, let me know. I can send it to you. And that's our program for today. It's 8 o'clock. All right. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. And this repetition and going over it again and again, I find it is so essential because this bhajan rahasya, I'm repeating the same point again that I've mentioned a few times, but I really like to emphasize it for myself as well, that this bhajan rahasya isn't something that we read and then move on from. It's not like, okay, finish that, now on to the next part. But bhajan rahasya is supposed to be about our daily practice. So we should be thinking about these things every single day. And if you don't go through it thoroughly enough for it to stick, then that's kind of like missing the point of Bhajanahasya. It's not, yeah, it's not like a normal book like where you just read chapter one and then you finish chapter one and you move on to chapter two and then you finish chapter two and okay, now I read that book. It's a daily manual. And so how can you think about this daily if it doesn't stick at all? Um, like in 20 years from now, 30 years from now, when I'm an old man, throughout that whole time, I should be thinking about this every day. But if I just go through it quickly and move on to the next thing, I'm not going to be able to do that. And so, yeah, I think it's really important to just take a bit of time and not rush through anything and really become clear on the meaning of all the words. And now, yeah. राधा विनोद बिहारी जू की जाय, श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मदन मोहन जू की जाय, जय श्री गुरुदेव की जाय, जय श्री परम गुरुदेव की जाय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जाय, श्री रूपानु गौरी गुरु वर्ग की जाय, स्वपार्षद श्री गौर नित्यानंद प्रभु की जाय, श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीगान की जाय, श्री गिरिराज महाराज की जाय, श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जाय, श्री भक्ति देवी की जाय, श्री पूर्णमासी योगमाय की जाय, श्री गोपेश्वर महादेव की जाय, श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जाय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, समागत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय, जय श्री हरिनाम महामंत्र की जय, हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जय. The explanations of Jiva Gosvāmī, Gopal Guru Gosvāmī, Raghunath Das Gosvāmī, and Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki jai. Jai Shri Bhajan Rahasya ki jai, Shri Satchidananda Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Vrindai Tulsi Devai, Priyai Keshavashacha, Krishna Bhakti Pradadevi, Satyavatai Namo Namaha, Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha, Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat pranams, Niri Hari Prabhu, Bhavatarani Mataji, Sarveshwari Mataji, Chattamai Mataji, Rohini Nandan, I'll call you 1 second, Sarveshwari Mataji, Rohini Nandan Prabhu, Champak Mataji, Vidyalala Sadidi, Ghanasham Prabhu, Ganga Mataji, and all other devotees watching, I'm guessing Indira Mataji, anyways, Raseshwari Mataji, and also Shachi Devi, Jayadev Prabhu, Revati Devi, all devotees watching in the future. Dandavat pranams. Yes, Sarveshwari Mataji.
You know, in the beginning, when you were mentioned the explanation of Ari in Aishwarya and Madhurya, that it was similar because they said both of them, they said remove sins, remove sin.
Yeah.
Maybe I was thinking, I don't know, I was thinking maybe also the different adhikaris, and we by different adhikaris of us, we are more receptive to remember different pastimes. Like for example, there is in Srimad Bhagavatam, they say that last we can remove lust by hearing the rasa dance. But still, there is different adhikaris. Not happen just like that. No, depend. No, because we have to be well situated. But I was thinking, this remove of sins sometimes maybe means engage us in a positive service to Krishna, maybe more in like a service or somebody very advanced in Sakya, very advanced. I was thinking in this because how can we understand the remove Aishwarya and Madhurya and remove the sins? I was thinking this point, you know.
Yeah, I mean it's really like the same as avidya harati, and also it's the tapatra. Wait, sorry. I'm just trying to remember. Okay, so the Aishvarya-mayī explanation was that he steals away the three tops, the threefold miseries, and the pop, the sins.
And the
And then the
sins,
Madhurya-mayī explanation would just meant that he steals away the avidya, the ignorance, right?
the ignorance.
And
Right.
Ashvo, um, and but then it really that stealing away the threefold miseries and sins, or stealing away the ignorance, the avidya, that is like it relates to Cheto Darpana Marjanam also, right? That's cleansing all those things, cleansing the threefold miseries. Actually, it relates to all three things. Cheto Darpana Marjanam, Bhava Mahadavagni Nirvapanam, and also Vidyavadu Jivanam, right? Because the removal of avidya is what removes avidya, right?
Yeah.
And we saw how like how that is like that this the avidya, removing the avidya, is the stage of, what was it? Is it the stage of ruchi? I think so.
Ruchi.
Yeah. Yeah. I think on the progression, right? Like, you know, Cheto Dharpana Marjanam Bhava Mahata Bhagni Nirvam. I think it was Ruchi. Yeah. Anyhow, it's so yeah, yeah, you can go a lot more deep. And there's probably like a way to relate that to Raj also. Like
Yeah.
no, I don't know how would you relate that to Raj. Anyways, I don't know, but yeah, that's the thing with these verses is that um the more you do bhajan, then all these new meanings will come and you go deeper and deeper and deeper. And you
Mm.
like somebody who's very rasik, they can relate everything to Braj.
Everything, yeah.
We see how Gurudev does that all the time, you know, like he'll we see with the especially like the what is it? It's the Mangala Gitam. Everything in Mangala Gitam, he explains it in like 5 different ways, and he relates it to Vraj in like 5 different ways. I once did that. I got all the different classes of Gurudev, and I tried to get all the different meanings that he like the different because every time he'd explain it in a different way, and so then I changed the color. So I had like he explained it related to Vraj in this way, and then he explained it in a completely different way, but still related to Vraj, and then in a completely different way, but still related to Vraj. And then you could see like all the different explanations. But like when somebody does bhajan like Srila Gurudev and goes so deep into something, then yeah, so many sweet meanings can come through anything, things that don't even seem sweet. I bet Srila Gurudev could make all the Aishwarya meanings there, could make it all like super juicy and like rasik and veg like that. You know, that's you know, somebody like on that level can do that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Hare Krishna, thank you.
Hari.
Chai
Yes, maybe
Prabhuji.
Hari Guru.
Yes, well, if it doesn't bother you, can you send me the chart too?
Sure, of course, of course.
Okay.
And
Chai, thank you so
what
much. This is nice, in-depth study.
what I find is like right now we just went through the very most basic general understanding. And I find that so helpful. Like when you have just like you know what the meaning of all the words are, like the general meaning. And then you see Gurudev's like because Gurudev usually doesn't give like just such a general meaning, but he'll give like a bhavanuvad, you know, and he'll bring the juice in it and all that. But I don't know. I find that like I'm able like once I understand the general meaning, and then I see how Gurudev like brings it out, then I'm able to appreciate it more. Um, yeah. When I just see the beautiful meaning, the Bhavanuvada like that, and I don't have them, I'm not able to appreciate the Bhavanuvada as much. So that's why I wanted to just get yeah, very clear, simple understanding of everything. And now we're going to go through Gopal Guru Goswami's explanation of these verses. And now that we've done this, I think it will be a lot easier to understand what he's doing. And um, yeah, we'll be able to make more sense of what he's saying, I think. I don't know. We'll see. All right. Haribol. Oh, and thanks for Dilala Sadidi. Yeah, I'll just share it in the group. Then everybody can see the chat. Yeah. Okay. And Haribol Chatamai Mataji. Haribol. All right. See you, everybody. Jai Shri Radhe.